making another promotional video for my book, Metadimensional. Woo! Okay, so I want to talk in this short video about time, what it is, but more what it isn't. So if you know anything about relatively modern physics, you probably think of time as a dimension. Like you think of time as if there's a width, height, and depth that are like spatial dimensions, there's also the dimension of time, and on that dimension of time, reality changes. It's like it's like you stack like the world, the universe. They stack on the dimension of time, and it works pretty well with equations. It's like interchangeable in many places. Yeah, but I think that's confusing the map for the territory. Time is not a dimension. Like, think about what a dimension is. Dimension is first and foremost is something that exists. And think about what exists mean. Exists means exists in the now. Now, yes, you can say it exists in the, like, time exists in the perception of something that perceive it from the side, like from a dimensionally higher vantage point. But you're just saying that. The reason you even consider dimensions at all is because you perceive it. Because perception is you perceive elements as three-dimensional, and I also discussed it in a different chapter that you actually perceive 5 dimensions. One of them is the way things change, but the way things change in your perception, not the way things change in the way you understand and perceive change, not the actual way things change in like object tables fall or chairs move, cars move. But time isn't like that. Time doesn't exist in your perception. And once you start to understand that this thing that you perceive is a concoction that the body produces, and now you're going to say that from a higher vantage point, what you're not talking about the right. You're conflating two things that are not related. Your experience perceives reality because that's how it perceives reality, through what the body produces. The body can have as many dimensions as it wants. It can have 4 dimensions, 5 dimensions, billion dimensions, infinity of dimensions. It doesn't reach you. What you're talking about is perception. The perception is 3-dimensional. So time, calling time a dimension is just like talking about what? You're not talking about the actual reality, underlying reality, the substrate, bodily substrate of anything. You're not talking about perception, because perception is definitely not, you can definitely not perceive time as a dimension, as something that exists in your perception. It's just a story. So where do you call that dimension of time? Like where do you think it exists? Um, so I mean, this is I'm trying to separate this from the rest of the arguments. It's really difficult. There's a lot to unpack, to talk about here, but generally speaking, time is simply not of the same type as dimensions. It works in this as if you use the math to do the physics, it works. But the math isn't physics. The math is the map. Physics is the territory, and you're confusing the map for the territory. Like the equations don't force reality to be as it is. They just describe the way reality moves. It doesn't. If you can make a story about the equation, then you make a story about the equation. You say that this variable corresponds with height, this variable corresponds with time, but it's just a story.